Hey there, all you Michiganders on Medicare. It's Sarah Hornick here with Hudson Wealth Management in Traverse City. And I've been doing some tips that can save you thousands of dollars in 2021 if you're a Medicare recipient. We've already done a few tips. We've done calling pharmaceutical companies to see if they have any kind of grants that could help with your pricey prescriptions. We've talked about comparing your Medicare supplement every 2 or 3 years to make sure you're not paying too much. We've talked about benefits that are unique for those on Medicaid and those who are veterans, extra benefits that they could take advantage of, which would be fabulous. And then we've also talked about making sure you know all your options that are out there, because there are tons of options that work with Medicare. And if you don't know your options, you can't pick the best one for you. So what are we going to talk about today? So much. There's so much about Medicare that we could talk about. But today we're going to talk about kind of making sure that you're always tying up any kind of loose ends you have with the coverage that you choose. Now, I wanted to go over a couple of things about prescription plans. When I sit down with folks, specifically when they first go on to Medicare, and they say, well, I'm not going to get a Part D plan because I don't take any prescriptions. The only prescriptions I ever use are antibiotics or generic prescriptions for my blood pressure. And if I were to get prescription insurance, I'd end up paying more for the insurance than I would for the actual prescriptions. Sounds logical, okay? However, that's a mistake. It's a loose end that you should not hang out there, because for every month that you don't have credible prescription coverage, you are penalized by the government if you pick up a prescription plan later. And unfortunately, as we get older, we tend to have more health conditions. And when we have more health conditions, we tend to take more prescriptions. So even though you're not taking any now, getting a prescription plan in place could help you further down the road if you do get some pretty hefty prescriptions, which can happen. The other aspect of a loose end with prescriptions is not reviewing your prescription plan annually. Now, for instance, in 2019, there was a Humana plan that cost about $20, okay? And then in 2020, that same plan went up to $50-some. $30 a month is a big jump. And if you're not reviewing it and paying attention, then it could, that's an extra $360 a year that you may not have to pay. Now, for some folks, that would be accurate. I have my cat here who just came to visit. Let me see. Where's Fifi? Anyway, now that Humana plan may very well work for folks and they should have kept it, but there were a lot of folks out there that got a big surprise. So that's a loose end that you don't want to have out there. Next, with your medical coverage, same thing with Part B. Some people say, I'm not spending $144.60 a month every month on my Part B. I never go to the doctor. I haven't been to the doctor in 10 years, 15 years. If you don't take your Part B when you're supposed to, you will get penalized. And that penalty is much bigger than the prescription drug penalty. So again, as we get older, we have more health issues, and you're going to want to have Part B if you have a health issue. So don't decline taking Part B. You need to take it. Another issue that a lot of folks have is when they do compare their coverage, their insurance coverages, they don't cancel the prior one correctly. In fact, I just had a phone conversation today with a gal who decided to go with somebody who called her on the phone to change her prescription. He switched her over, told her that he was going to help cancel her prior plan, but he didn't. And she's been paying, she's been double dipped for 4 months. So once you get your new plan in place and you don't want to do it before, right? You want to make sure you're approved with the new company. Once you get that plan in place, you have to call the old company and make sure it's canceled, and it's canceled on the right date, and it gets done. Some companies will take a phone call, some won't. They want it in writing. Other medical loose ends. If you have an Advantage plan, you want to make sure that your doctors are in network, okay? Because these plans do have networks, and if you sign up for a plan and your doctor's not in network, well, it's not going to work very well, is it? The other is that a lot of the Advantage plans have benefit limits. There are some things that are covered and some things that are not, and there are limits on those benefits. So you want to make sure that you know those limitations of your plan. So those are just some loose ends to make sure you have tied up with your insurance, your Medicare coverage, because Medicare is a part of retirement, and retirement's supposed to be a good time. You're supposed to be planning that next skiing trip with your spouse or a friend. That's what you should be worrying about, not about being double dipped in premium for your insurance or any of those other things that we just talked about. If you'd like a professional to review what you have, an independent professional to review what you have and make sure that you're in the best spot possible, we're happy to do it. We do it every day. There are a lot of agents at our company, at our agency, Hudson Wealth Management, that can sit down with you or give a phone call with you or Zoom with you, go over what your options are to make sure that you are in the best spot. And it doesn't cost you anything, so it's great. So give us a call. And until I see you next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.